G'day and welcome back. Welcome back to My Knitting Life. I'm Kerry and today I'm coming to you from Newcastle, Australia. The state is New South Wales. And it's been a while, although I did a bit of a practice run before, and so hopefully this will be a little better and I won't trip over so many words and be lost for a few words. As I said, I'm coming to you from Newcastle in Australia, where I live with my youngest child who's almost 22, and my husband and our dog Freddie. Yes, it's been a while, about 12 months I think, because I remember doing this last year for the Mkal, and time has just run away. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in the last 12 months. A lot of places we've been, a lot of knitting, a lot of casting on, a lot of crochet, into crochet now, and we'll catch up on all of that another time. Hopefully I can keep this going again. Maybe, the plan could be after the Mkal, maybe monthly, bit of a monthly catch up, because honestly it got all a bit too much with all the filming and editing, and takes a long time and it starts to eat into time for other things. So that's the plan, just to see how we go. But I'm back today because it's Mkal. Yay! It is the 5th of October today, so I think does it start on the 5th? I don't know what day it is in Amsterdam, but here in Australia it's tonight. And we usually get the clue on the video at about between 7 and 9 o'clock, depending. So I'm looking forward to that. So I thought we'd just come back and have a bit of a catch up today, and a bit of an explanation of where I've been, but you know, life happens. I'm grandma now. So that's happened this year, and part of the reason I've been away, I spent quite a few weeks, 6-8 weeks in Sydney with my daughter at the beginning of the year when she was born, just to help her out, and things just like got carried away then through the year, and here we are again at Mkal time. So wanted to have a bit of a catch up with the previous Mkals that I've done, and kind of just wanted to keep this about 10 to 15 minutes with very minimal editing, because I learnt last time how time consuming that is, and I don't want to get caught up again in that. So previous Mkals, this will be my 3rd Mkal, and the first one I did was Shawlography in 2021, when I was kind of a brand new knitter. From memory, it might have been, I was knitting for 12 months, maybe less. And my girlfriend and I were in like Flynn, and we found out about the mystery knit along, and well, that was the end of us. We had to scour the internet to find a kit because we're hopeless with colours. And we ended up buying from a company here in Australia called the Australian Wool Store. We got mostly, it was a grey kind of, I suppose you'd call it a gradient, with a pop of colour, and my pop was a deep tealy blue and hers was a greeny colour. And in the end my mother ended up doing it too, and her pop of colour was maroon. So here is my Shawlography from 2021. Hope this is showing up okay, because in the practice run that I had, the colours weren't really great. So it is quite a tealy blue. So this was a lot of fun, being quite a brand new knitter. I didn't know what I was doing, just like had to watch the videos a lot, and it was pretty much an adventure. Hadn't done a lot of the stitches that were in here, and yeah, it was quite the adventure. And brioche, oh, I managed to brioche. So yeah, and you'll also notice that my border is quite short because I'd had enough, and because I'm a shorter person, I didn't think that it required such a long border, and it happened to make it quicker. So I like to wear this a lot in the winter, just at home around my shoulders. Keeps me warm when I'm knitting or doing other things during the day. And yeah, I like to wear this a lot. It just adds that extra layer of warmth. Also, while we're onto it, this is my Knit Happens shirt that I think I bought a couple of years ago from Knit Picks from memory. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I like to wear this. So then in 2022, last year was Twists and Turns, which I'm sure you're all aware of. And I think I might have bought 3 kits for this. I'm not really sure, I can't remember. And in the end, I think I've mixed and matched and didn't really use one in particular. I do remember that some of it was from Prosper Yarn in New Zealand. And I can't remember what the other ones were. Oh, the grey might have been from Skip Rope Yarn Company, which is, or Skip Rope Yarn, which is another local to me dyer. She lives here in Newcastle. Oh, I have sewn in the ends, but I haven't cut them off. So this is my Twists and Turns. Was a bit of a struggle to get through that first clue, and I did the extra bit in the end, and it was very long, and I love that pinky colour. Hope it shows up on the screen. Another end dangling there. I have sewn them in, I just haven't cut them off. Yep, I've washed it. It smells like wool wash. Must go back and do that. I haven't actually worn this a lot because I tend to run for this one. So that was quite an adventure and quite controversial, actually. I found out because a lot of people didn't like it and they ripped it out. And anyway, that was my second Mkal adventure. So let's turn to this year. I have actually purchased 2 kits, which is an improvement on last year. And the first one that I bought was from America, and I wasn't quite sure whether it would get here in time, so I did make another purchase from Australia. So the first kit that I bought was from Moonglow Yarn Co. And she is in, I think it's Wyoming. What does it say? And dyed in Wyoming, yes. And let's just order them up. I hope this shows on the screen. There is her label, and these are just beautiful colors. They are glass slipper, glacial glow, wishing well, and starfall. Quite a beautiful deep tealy color. So that was the first kit that I purchased, and as much as I do like it, I think that I'm going to cast on the other one. This is on her merino nylon 75/25, and there are 463 yards or 423 meters for us here in Australia per 100 grams. So that's our first kit. And the actual kit that I think I'm going to use, I did buy from Skein Sisters. It's a local shop in Sydney, and there is their label, and this is their romance base, and that is actually 80% Australian extra fine superwash merino and 20% silk, and it's just lovely. It's so soft, and it's going to be just lovely to work with, and that's part of the reason why I'm going to work with this kit. But I also like this. So we have Romantic, which has got pink speckles, a little bit like last year's pink speckly one. Then we have this one called Crushed Velvet, a pinky color. We have Dove Lake, which is a lovely blue, grayish dusty blue, and the last one is Hollow Sky, a deep navy. I can't remember actually what they called this kit, but it covers all bases because at the moment I'm a blue girl, but I have been picking a lot of pink things lately. So I did take a picture or screenshot and I changed the contrast to black and white, and this is the order that they will go in. Stephen did say that they don't need to be in the same color family as long as they kind of have that gradient and get darker, and that actually happens with this when you change the saturation to black and white. So I will be winding this up this afternoon. Of course, I better get, because I need to get casting on tomorrow. So that is the kit, and over the last couple of weeks I knew that I'd had that wool for a while and knew that this was coming up, and I couldn't find any yarn cozies because they're all being used. So over the last few weeks I've been knitting yarn cozies. So that's the next thing that I wanted to show you. The first two, I don't know what the wool was. It was just something that was left over. And this is a pattern by Nitty Natty, and I've made quite a few of these now, and she has these that you can make from the same pattern. I think it's called Yarn Cozy Light, is the name of the pattern, and from that one pattern you can knit cozy for 100 gram skein, for 50 gram skein, and for 20 gram skein. So this was actually the first one that I knit, and it's pink, got some blue, mottled blueness. So it's a great pattern. Start here and you increase and you do your ribbing, and finishes off with a nice I-cord at the top. And once you get your wool in, gee, that's upside down, you can then pull from the center this way, and yeah, keeps your wool all nice and it's getting a bit hot, nice and tidy right down to the last. So that was the first one. Then I found this aquary blue, same pattern, 100 gram skein of wool fit in there when wound up. So those were the first two, and then I still needed two more, and I knit the next two pretty much concurrently, and had this left over. This is actually from Obsession Yarns, and this was the exclusive colorway that she had for Nitty Natty's I keep going to say Shark Week, Sock Week in June or July or something like that, and I managed to nab a skein of that. And this is the cozy. I can't remember what she called it, mermaid something, I'm not sure. Lovely wool. This is the cozy that I knitted up out of that. Sure if it's showing a very good color representation on screen, but yeah, that was fun. And then the last one that I think I finished last night or the night before is the same wool that I made my Musselburgh hat in, and it is from Dying Dream, and that's another dyer here in Australia. Don't know what the colorway is, it doesn't actually say, but this is the cozy. So that's the fourth one, lovely grey with lots of tiny little flecks of color. So I've got my cozies ready to go, got my wool ready to go to skein this afternoon. I better get on with that because it's currently 4:30. And the last thing that I wanted to show you today was that I found a bag earlier that I thought, just the bag for the Mkal. And the reason for that is that it is a bag from Oh Wow in Amsterdam. There's the label, I hope you can see that. Oh Wow, Amsterdam. And I actually, there's the bag, back a bit. Nice and bright, it reminds me of Stephen West. Pockets inside, large, plenty of room for the wool and the shawl when we get going. And I purchased this quite a few months ago now from a website called Stitchy Witches, which is here in Australia, and I actually think she's in the Hunter out at Lake Macquarie, which is the local council area that I actually live in. And yeah, so I thought that was rather appropriate for the Mkal, seeing as though it's from a company in Amsterdam. So I need to be winding up a wool and getting on with it. Okay, that's been much better the second time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully we'll just make some short videos like this over the next month, maybe one a week. And so there's minimal editing to do, because I'm not very good at that actually. I'm not very good at speaking to the camera, and looking forward to casting on tomorrow. My mother's coming over because that's our Friday knit day tomorrow, and so we'll be casting on. And yeah, thanks for joining me today, and let's get on with the Mkal. See you next time. It's taken all afternoon. I haven't done any